In today's video, we're going to talk about what every nonfiction book proposal must have in order to be accepted by a traditional publisher. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sharlrita Deloatch, and on this channel, I talk about how to create multiple streams of income in digital publishing. I am a digital publisher, so I write books, I write articles. I also own a template shop for authors as well as publisher, ghostwriters, and book coaches as well. So if you love the content that I will talk about on this channel around those subject matters, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit that notification bell so when I upload a new video, you will be the first to know. Now let's get into it. Now, why do you need a book proposal? So not every publisher will need a book proposal, but before I really get into the details as of why, let's talk about the types of publishing companies that you may have heard of, okay, or you may not. So I want to go over these today. So first off, you know about self-publishing. Self-publishing is what it is. It's you as the creator, you are the publisher, you are all the things, you are the editor, or you may can hire these parts out in your business as well as a author. You're self-publishing, you have the all the control. You also have all of the you have all the control, and you also have all of the responsibilities when it comes to getting that book written into publishing and as well as marketing. Okay, so I want to make sure I put that out there. Now, when you do a Google search on publishing companies, you're going to see these words here. First off, you will see the traditional publisher. So that's the big. It used to be the big five, but now it's four because one bought out the other. I think it's been about a couple years now. So now there's four big publishing traditional houses. So what that means is you will have to have an agent to shop your book around. So first of all, you got to hire an agent, and the agent will either accept your book or not. They will shop your book around to these publishing companies, sometimes the big four, and sometimes there are others too, which I'm about to get into. So they will shop your book around to the publishing companies, and they will get you the best deal. You will sometimes get some money up front, which we call an advance. It's the same way that you can look at the music industry. Okay, so it's the exact same way. So you get an advance. Even with that advance, you don't get all the money up front. They pay you in parts. Sometimes they'll pay you a certain percentage. Then you get the other percentage after the book is turned in, and maybe you get a percentage, after the print is done. It just goes in so many orders. Okay. Now, I'm giving you this information based on big years in the publishing industry. I have never been traditionally published, nor do I want to. And there's nothing wrong if you want to, but I'm coming to you as a person that has researched this information. Okay. I've never experienced it. However, I have had a conversation with individuals who have, and of course, I'm a part of some amazing Facebook groups. So this is the information that I'm relaying to you. The traditional publisher will also get a percentage of the royalties of your book. So that means they will only pay you a certain percentage until all of that advance is paid back. So it's just like you're getting an advance. It's not really your money. You have to pay it back, but you have to pay it back basically in book sales. Okay. What will happen if you don't pay it back? I have no idea, but but the goal is a traditional publisher is basically saying to you as the author, I believe in your book. Not only do I believe in your message, but I believe it will sell. Because remember, publishing is a business. The traditional publisher needs to make sure that they're picking up books that they know will be profitable. Okay. So that's why it's hard sometimes to get a traditional publishing deal, because not every book that we think will be a top seller or that will make the most money. Okay. So they have their system, their process, and why they would choose their book. They look at several things, which is some of the things I'm going to go over in today's video. But just know that traditional publishing is still out there. I believe that it's definitely shifting a lot in the industry, but it's still out there. You can still get an agent, and most traditional publishers will want you to have an agent. There are some traditional publishers, which I'm getting ready to talk about when I talk about the small presses, that you may not have to have an agent, but you still will need to have a proposal in which while I'm doing this video so you'll know what to do. Okay. So that's a little bit about traditional. Now you have the hybrid slash boutique, because you're going to hear these words and they're both the same. So the word hybrid publisher or boutique publisher. I used to own a hybrid or boutique book publishing company. Okay. I started that business in 2016, where here's my motto: the hybrid is what it is. I was a hybrid in between self publishing, and I also took some of the traditional publishing accolades as well. And here's how I did that. So, as a hybrid publisher, basically I charged a fee, so I didn't pay a royalty up front. I wanted to go ahead and have an option for those people that don't have the following, but you have the money to be able to put it forth. Plus, with the hybrid model as well, it's a lot of hands off for the author, meaning you don't have to edit, you don't have to hire editor. We will have them on our team. We built, I built an actual company. So I had a team of contractors, I had a team of myself and individuals that help to make sure that the book is published and make sure that it's published professionally. Okay. So that's the hybrid model. Now, how we tagged on the self-publishing, which with traditional publishing, you do, from what I heard, you do kind of get a say so in, your title, your cover. That some people say you do and some people say you don't. So I'm not sure about that part, but I know that as a hybrid publisher, my client gets to say so in their cover. Now, as the CEO, as the publisher, as the expert, I would advise my client and say, hey, this is the cover that we came up with based on the book that you are publishing, based on your goals. So we always looked at what the client's goals is, because if a client came in with a book idea and I say to them that's not going to sell, they have a choice. If you're still going to pay us to do it, just know that if you decided to, choose a title that's not going to work, or choose a cover that's not going to work, or write the book that's not going to sell, then you're going to have to eat that cost, and knowing that, hey, the expert said that book is not going to sell, but I still want to get it done. That's with the self-publishing, where you get a lot of say so. Okay. With the hybrid and a boutique publisher. Okay. So with the hybrid, you take on the traditional publishing part by doing the work for your clients. Okay. So it's operated just like a business. Some publishing companies have project managers, they do have editors. I had all of that on my team, where the client did not have to touch the manuscript. We did all the work for you. So that's how we took on the traditional. How we took on the self-publishing as well is that our clients got 100% of their royalties. We did not take royalties from our clients. Okay. We didn't, in the beginning, I used to print my books for my clients, but then later on, because it became such a hassle, I decided not to do that. So I would hand over, the books to my client and let them go ahead and print their own books. And I showed them how to set up their printer and all that good stuff. Okay. So there's some good and some bad with the hybrid. A lot of people, especially on the internet, especially in these Facebook groups, feel like nobody should pay for publishing. I totally disagree. Publishing is a skill set to me. To me, publishing is a skill. Not everybody knows how to publish. Not everybody wants to know how to publish. Not everybody is vast on the knowledge on what it takes to take a book from the thought or the idea all the way to publishing. Not everyone is skilled to do that. So if someone cannot get a traditional publishing deal, then you're going to have to put your money where, if you really believe in your book and your story, you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is, especially if you don't know what you're doing. You need to hire someone. So it's like hiring a service provider. Okay. Now, small presses, you're going to see small presses. Now, some presses operate like the traditional. Okay. What they do is I've seen this work two different ways. You will have small presses that may give you a small advance, like two, 300, maybe $500. Okay. They will also take a royalty from your book, but they're going to give you the most. Okay. So I've seen a publisher where she would give you a $500 advance. However, she would give you 70% of your book royalties and her company takes 30. Okay. So I've seen it work that way with small presses. I've seen with some small presses where they don't take any money up front. They don't pay you anything up front. However, they just give you the 70% of royalties and then they take 30. So they may not charge you to publish the book or, to edit, do any of those things. However, they operate just like a traditional publisher. Remember, this is a business. So the small press needs to find a way to make money. If you run a small press, you still have to think about the money. Your business is still a business, so you still have to bring in revenue. So how would that be done? And sometimes with small presses, even with the hybrid model, with these two, you can really, really create a business model that you love and you can still help people. Okay. I'm really thinking about going to the traditional route with my publishing company if I decide to reopen. Again, I may do this. It may be like early 2025 that I may decide to do this. It just depends on a couple of things. I do kind of like the traditional model. However, before with the hybrid, there was certain type of books that I published. I didn't publish all books. Okay. Which I'm gonna go into the vanity publishing, but I didn't publish all books. I didn't take on everyone, even as a hybrid publisher. So if I decide to go to a small press or operate like a traditional publisher, I may give advances, but that does mean that I'm not going to take on a lot of people, and I'm not going to take on certain books because I'm going to be looking at certain criteria. Because as a businesswoman, I still have to think about the revenue of my publishing company. So those that have small press and they say words like, "Oh, I just want to do it because I love it." Absolutely, I love books too. However, when you're running a company, okay, and you actually signed up to run a company, you have to pay taxes. When you're running a business, you have to think about the money. Okay. So if you're ever thinking about starting a small press or a hybrid publishing model, uh, definitely I can help you with that. I have a link in my description. You can book a call with me and we can talk about that. Definitely I can help you with that, but do realize that which way is going to work with you. If you are in a place where you want a business that's going to help you, you want to make money, not right away, but you want to get your money up front, doing the hybrid in the boutique publishing will be the best way to go. Okay. But doing the small press, that you will get the money, but it will be, later. Okay. So that means you have to be very resourceful when it comes to editing book covers. That means you need to have some money in the bank to get those things done in hopes that the book will sell and you can get your money back. Okay. Now, vanity publishing, you're going to see vanity publishing out there as well. But here's the kicker: with vanity publishing, the publishers, they're not going to have the word vanity in their publishing company name. So this is just a matter of doing research. Now, vanity publishers is a no-no. Vanity, here's how you can tell if they're a vanity publisher. That means that they would take on anybody's book. That means they'll take on any book as long as you got the money. If they just take your money, or if they just have it on their website where you could just go ahead and pay and then upload your book without them getting to know who you are, without them getting to know your story, what you're publishing, I will run in the other direction, because they don't have your best interest at heart. from the very beginning. And that's the first thing you're going to see. If all they want is the money, then they are not going to put out the best work for you. Okay. So that's the first thing that I would look for when it comes to that. Look to see what type of books they are publishing. Most hybrid publishers or small presses, they publish a certain type of book. It will say on their website there are romance small presses, there are what's the other ones, they are fiction non-press, and they will tell you what type of books they are publishing. Okay, if they have a specific type of book that they are publishing, then go to them. If they're just publishing anything and everybody, they are vanity and you don't want to go there. Okay, a lot of vanity publishers as well will have you to pay, and they're going to take some of your royalties. That's how you can kind of tell that is not a go, because remember I told you with traditional you may not have to pay, but they're going to take some of your royalties. Okay, they're going to take a percentage of your book. Hybrid and boutique, if we get money up front, we're not taking any of your royalties, because it's either this or that. Either you're going to pay up front, okay, or either you're going to pay in royalty. That's how a hybrid boutique publisher will operate. A small press is the same. The small press is the same. They either not going to take any money up front. That most of the time they're not going to take any money up front. However, you will, which they operate like a traditional, they will get some of your royalty. However, they're not going to get you're going to get a bigger chunk of your royalty than the traditional. Okay, so like a traditional publisher, they may give you a 5% royalty. I've seen some lower that has been offered 5%. A small press may say, I'm gonna give you 70%, okay, or 30%. So you're going to get a higher percentage. So that's how you know you're operating in a small press. A vanity publisher is going to say, hey, I want your money and I want the royalty. Then you need to run in the other direction. Okay, those are the kind of the key pointers that you will see what the difference is. Again, it's still all about doing research, making sure that they have a legitimate website. All publishers should have a website. I don't care what nobody says. All publishers should have a website. All publishers should at least have a face of the brand. You should know at least who the CEO is. Most of these publishers will have a tab where they'll tell you who's on their team. So you will know, even if you don't know who the whole team is, because I didn't display my whole team, but I did display my face. Okay. So make sure you know that. Please know what type of books they are publishing. Okay. Not every legitimate publisher, whether they're hybrid, traditional, or small press, all of these are legitimate. Okay. It does not matter if long as that somebody's face is on it and everybody knows what type of books they are going to publish. Okay, so that's why, going back to why you need a book proposal, because some of these companies will require that. Most hybrid publishers will not require a book proposal. Most hybrid or boutique publishers will require you to have a conversation. So if you see a website that says, you want to publish with us, this is the type of book we publish, you have to book a call. If you see that, please know, and going into that, that's a hybrid publisher. That means they want to get on a call with you and they're going to sell you on their packages. I'm telling you this because this is what I used to do. That's how my business model was set up. I needed to talk to you in order to know whether or not I wanted to publish that book. Okay. So that's with the hybrid publisher. If a hybrid publisher, again, if they're just publishing anybody, they're vanity, they're not publisher, you don't want to go that way. But if they have a conversation with you to let you know, hey, this is the type of book we publish, whether a yes or no, you should get a yes or no. All my previous clients either got a yes or no. Okay, there were some people I turned around and said, no, I don't want to publish that book, because there were certain books I will not touch and will not publish. Okay, so you have to know that. You will see that on the website. Now, most small presses, on their website, you will find a way for you to upload a book proposal. Sometimes they will have you fill out a form. Sometimes they will have you to email a book proposal, but you will see the word book proposal. Most small presses do not require you to have an agent. Okay. Traditional publishers, they are not going to have nothing on their website for you to upload, no book proposal, no nothing, because you have to have an agent. Okay. So I hope this is making sense to you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. But I wanted to make sure that I go over this so that you can have the understanding. Because when you start to do a quick Google search, which you probably will, you're going to see these words, and I want you to make sure that you know the difference. Okay. So let's get into what your book proposal must have. Okay. These are some of the things that I want you to take note of and what your book proposal must have. And this is so that you, if you want to send a proposal to an agent, okay, for a traditional, or if you want to send it to a small press, okay, if you find out that you are operating with a small press and they don't ask for a book proposal, they probably do, but not in the way you have to send it in as a proposal. They may require you to just fill out information, but it's still the same, because the information I'm going to tell you today is still what you're going to need even if you go to a small press. Okay. So let's talk about the hook in the overview of your book. You're going to need a title. So you're going to want to make sure that your title is attention grabbing, make sure that it's clear, it's concise, and that the title reflects your book's content. Okay. You're going to also need a book description. So you're going to need a captivating paragraph summarizing your book's core message and what makes it unique. Okay. So you're going to need those things as far as the hook and the overview. Now, the marketing. Okay. The marketing. You're going to need to know who your target audience is. So you need to identify your ideal reader, be specific, have your demographics, the interests and the reading habits of your ideal reader. Okay. If they don't ask about, the market analyst, don't be alarmed. However, as when you are putting your proposal together, you do want to keep these things in mind. And this is whether you are going to pitch to an agent or whether you're going to pitch to a small press. They need to know these things, because as a publisher, let me tell you, as a publisher, let me put my publishing hat on. If I'm going to run a small press where I'm going to have you to send me a book proposal, I need to know these things, because I need to know that you know who your audience is and where your readers are. If you don't know this, then you're not going to know how to market your book. You're not going to have a plan, which goes into the next thing. You need to explain why your book is relevant. You're basically selling yourself in your proposal. Like, how are you going to fill the gap in the current market? How you need to highlight any recent trends, social issues that your book speaks about. Okay. So you want to make sure that you have that market analyst. You need to have this, because as a publisher, if I decide to go the traditional market and have a small press, I need to know these things. Okay. I need to know, because I need to know that your book is going to sell. Remember, it's still a business. All right. Competition. You want to acknowledge, similar books, and so that you can give a fresh perspective. I'm not going to say you always going to need this, but for your own research, we need to know as a publisher that you've done your research, that you're not just putting a book out there just to put a book out there. Okay. All right, author expertise. You're going to need your bio. So you're going to need your bio. You're going to need to include credentials if you have them, if you've written other books, if you've been a part of publications, any rewards that you've been a part of, your professional background. Okay. You're going to need your platform. So you're going to need to explain how to reach your target audience. Do you have a social media following? Do you have a blog? Do you have speaking engagements? How will you promote your book? Okay. This needs to be in your proposal. It's very, very important. Sales and marketing plan. You want to have a brief outline of your strategies for promoting your book. This could involve your author events, collaboration, online advertising, and utilizing your existing platform. Okay. Please know that even if you decide to go the traditional route, they're still going to want to know this information, because even in traditional publishing, yes, they have more of the bandwidth to market your book. However, please know that a traditional publisher they only go and this is business, right? Their only goal is to market your book for at least 2 weeks, because their goal is to get you to either New York Times or the different, bestsellers list. That's their goal, to get you there, because they want to make their money back. Okay, they want to make their money back. They want to sell more books as possible, because there's more money in the bank for them. Please know that. They're going to market it in the beginning, but after that, they're no longer going to market your book. Now, they will, traditional publishers, I will say this, they have the bandwidth and they have the resources to get your book into bookstores. They have the resources to get your book all over the place. They do have that. They have that over the small presses. They have that over a hybrid publisher. They have that. Now, it does not mean that the hybrid publisher or the small press can't do it, but it's a lot more loopholes. And trust me, I know, because I've tried it. It's a lot more loopholes, a lot of things you have to go through to get that. But with a traditional publisher, all they have to do is snap their fingers. They have the bandwidth to do it. They have the people. They have the connections. They can get you on TV. They can get you on podcasts. They can get you on all these things. However, you still need to have a plan. Okay, and how you plan to sell this book. Because if you go into this thinking that they're just going to do all the work, baby, they're not going to take your book. Okay, so I want to be upfront with you. I've been in publishing for a long time. I've been studying this. I'm in the groups. I'm in there. Okay, so I'm just being upfront with you. You need to have a sales and marketing plan. Of course, you need to have a book outline. So you need to provide detailed chapter by chapter breakdown to showcase your book structure, your flow, your key points. You need to have a book outline. Okay. You also need to have a sample writing. We need to know how to write, because traditional publishers, before they accept you, they need to see your writing. And a goal, which I'm going to talk about this too, is a goal and when you plan to have that book done. Okay. Now, if you're in a spot where you say, you know what, I don't want to write my own book. I have never heard of a traditional publisher having a ghostwriter to write their book. They may. I haven't heard it. They may, but I'm sure it's not. Then you're going to get charged for it. I'm not saying with the traditional, but you will get charged for it. Okay, so ghostwriters charge $10,000 plus before they even touch a book. It's probably more than that in this economy. $10,000 plus. So just know you got to have a sample writer. If you're not a good writer at all, and this is your first book, and you struggle to even write an article, I highly suggest that you do self-publishing. Okay, do self-publishing so that you can learn how to write. Okay, let me give you some additional tips. Think about the length of your proposal. So aim for a proposal between 10 to 25 pages. Follow specific guidelines set by the publishers and the agents that you are targeting. Formatting. So make sure that you maintain a professional and easy to read format with a clear table of contents, consistent font style. Proofread. Please ensure that your proposal is free of grammatical errors and typos. So they don't want a book. You're pitching a book. It doesn't need to have all these errors in it. And you're thinking, well, they're just going to fix it. No, that's not how this works. You need to have the work set. Okay, you need to have the work set. So if you're interested in having a book proposal, you want to pitch to these traditional publishers or maybe even a small press, I have a nonfiction book starter kit. So this starter kit is going to help you to transform your ideas into published works faster and more efficiently. Okay, so what I have in there is a book outline template. I have a writing schedule planner. I have a book proposal template. So the template is in a Google Doc and it tells you what to put where. Okay, so you have the space. You can take this template and you can actually type in it so you can use it for yourself. I also have some checklists in there. I have a first draft revision checklist so you can check things off as you get things done before you hand your book over to the editor, and a couple of more things that we're going to put inside that starter kit. Okay, it's free. You can download it for free. I'm going to put the link in the description so that you can go ahead and get it. This is going to help you with your book proposal. Okay, if you're interested in going the traditional route, or maybe you are looking at a small press, you will need a book proposal. With some small presses, you may not need to send in a book proposal, but you need to follow directions on what they have on their website. And then you can do what they said. But most of everything that I mentioned here in this video, you're going to need, okay, in a book proposal. All right. So good luck. Hope that you find the publishing option that works for you and works for your business and where you want to go. Again, this is a nonfiction book starter kit. So if you want to write a nonfiction book, which is a book that's going to help you to grow your business, that means you're taking your expertise, you're taking what you know, and you can use this starter kit. It's not great or not a good fit if you want to write a fiction book, a romance book. It's not going to work for you because it's not set up for those type of books. That's a whole different arena and what you need to put inside those books and the proposals. Okay, so that's all for today's video. Let me know if you have any questions below. I know it's a little lengthy, but I had to make sure I cover especially the publishing option so that you have a clear understanding. Okay, all right guys, until the next time, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.